the safest 4 ETFs to simply store your cash. Welcome to the channel. My name is Spencer and I talk all about investing with ETFs primarily. Now in this video, I'm going to talk about something that impacts every single investor, a safe place to store the money that you're not investing quite yet. Now that can have a number of meanings, whether you're saving up for something and you want to simply have the money making you a little bit of money, or you want to put your cash somewhere before you invest it. You're not sure if you want to put everything into the market and so on and so forth. So in this video, I'm going to show you 4 very safe ETFs, all with different pros to help you find the best place to store your cash. It's very important that we first address why we even need these funds, right? Because you may think, well, every penny that I put into my brokerage or my Roth IRA, I'm going to invest right away. And that's totally fine. I hold cash positions, but not everyone does. So why do we need these lower yielding ETFs to store cash? Well, if you've ever saved up for a large purchase, a house, a car, a crazy vacation, maybe you're saving up to start a family, you know that you want really safe areas for that cash because you may need it at any point. Maybe you have $80,000 in an account and you don't want to have it in the market because you're going to use it as a down payment. And what if the market tanks and so on and so forth? Well, that's what a lot of these types of funds are for. They're for emergency funds. And the reason we need them is because banks are terrible. Now, if you're a banker, I'm sorry. I don't like banks. I don't like going to banks. The only bank I like is SoFi, and that's because I hold their stock. But the average savings account rate is 0.39%. So the reason I'm making this video is because if you have large amounts of cash that you don't want to invest, you're using it for something, you're saving it for something, and you're worried that you need it to be just stable, you can't have the volatility of the market, these funds are amazing because many of them pay 4% plus, which is 10 times what your bank account savings account is going to pay you. And that's why these funds are so important. So let's take a look first at an honorable mention, a new fund that pays weekly dividends. The reason this is an honorable mention is because this fund is literally a week old. We're looking at BTYB, the VistaShares BitBonds ETF. I did a full video on it, but I wanted to throw it out there because it is unique. Now, the pro to this one is it has a higher yield, 7 to 7.5%, which is amazing. The cons is you're holding Bitcoin, which can be a pro, but it can also be a con. They're able to generate more income because of its ties to Bitcoin. So you're actually going to hold, I think it's a 4-to-1 ratio. You have 80% in treasury related exposure and 20% in Bitcoin exposure. And then they're going to have a synthetic call strategy to write options on both of those. So there's some pros and cons as well. Yes, it's weekly, which is amazing. The distribution rate, it has it at an 8% right now, which is absolutely amazing, but you're going to have more risk involved in price fluctuations. And that's why it doesn't really fit for this video, because I want a safe place that unless the world is nearly ending, I can store my cash. But I wanted to put this out there because it is a new fund, and I think it's going to be really interesting for people that want to have a more aggressive savings account. Starting off with our first selection of SGOV, ticker SGOV. And the reasoning behind this one is it is popular, it is consistent, and it is pretty phenomenal. It really is. It does exactly what it says it's going to do. It's the iShares 0 to 3 month Treasury Bond ETF. It's always going to trade around that $100 mark. The expense ratio is very solid at 0.09%. It's cheap to hold, and thus, there you go. It does what it says it's going to do. Now, one thing I want to mention is when I say this thing's popular, I'm not joking. Net assets of the fund are over $72.5 billion, which is a ton of money. Now, I don't have to tell you that. We all know that. But I think another key point with this one is it pays out monthly. Very solid. The downturn with this one, we can see if we go to the calendar year returns in 2022, it was low. In 2023, 5%. In 2024, 5.3%. In 2025, 4.24%. And the reasoning for this fluctuation is interest rates, because it's a bond ETF. It's a treasury bond ETF. So interest rates do have an impact. So it will consistently pay you. And it's not like the fund's really going to go under. There's very low risk of that. I mean, if it goes under, we're in big trouble. But you are going to have fluctuations. But investors still love it for the reasoning behind it. I mean, the consistency is amazing and it's cheap to hold. So it definitely has a spot in the safest selections, but there are, again, some cons. It's not going to get you aggressive growth. It is just a simple place to store your cash that's going to do what it says it's going to do every time and pay you those nice monthly dividends. Next, we have a weekly payer, WEEK. This is the Roundhill ETF. It's a weekly T-bill fund. And it's pretty consistent. It has a lower distribution rate, starting off with a bit of a con, 3.06%. Part of that is because it is a little bit more expensive to hold, a 0.19% expense ratio. It's also a bit smaller, only 144 million in AUM, significantly smaller than SGOV and a couple of our other options. But it pays you weekly. So reoccurring income stream every single week. A lot of people, I mean, the dream would be to retire on a fund like this, like SGOV, like all of our lists today. With this second selection, though, you're going to need to have millions, and I really do mean millions and millions of dollars, because it's always going to yield a lower percent. It's going to give you that exposure to US Treasury bills with maturities 0 to 3 months, providing an alternative vehicle for investors seeking capital preservation. So it's really not capital appreciation. You're just trying to continue to have your money not lose its value over time through inflation. So target stable week over week. Phenomenal ticker name, right? Can't do much better than WEEK as a weekly payer. So I think Roundhill was smart to have this. It's different than a lot of their other funds, but it does deserve a spot in our selection. Now, it isn't even my favorite weekly T-Bill ETF or safe ETF, I will say. We're going to get to that in just a moment. But next, let's check out one of the most popular income issuers, NEOS. This is a fund that not a lot of investors talk about. It's ticker CSHI from NEOS. It's the NEOS Enhanced Income 1 to 3 month T-Bill ETF. We've kind of covered a lot of this before, but we're going to keep going. First con, it is a monthly payer. I don't mind monthlies, but I do think weekly is better. Second con, management fee is a bit higher, 0.38%, but there is some reasoning for that. This thing is pretty solid. So they're going to utilize a data-driven put option strategy on a portfolio of 1 to 3 month treasury bills. And what that does is it gives you a bit of a higher yield. It's distributing about 4.82% based off the last payment. They also have some tax loss harvesting advantages with the SPX index options, the 1256 contracts, meaning you can actually be subjected to lower taxes. I'm not a tax accountant. I'm not an accountant at all. So talk to your accountant about that for more specific details. This video is not financial advice. I have to say that. So there are some differences between these, and that's why I think CSHI is really, really solid. And in fact, for me personally, I like this one to store my cash. It's what I utilize. And one thing that's important to note is I store my savings fund, my emergency fund in CSHI. I don't continue to grow my position. And the reasoning behind that is I want to take the dividends that CSHI is paying out and invest it in other things. I'm not going to continue to grow my emergency fund. I want to set my emergency fund at a certain percentage and utilize the rest, right? So for savings up for something, for instance, I plan on changing houses. I want to sell this house, buy a new house, and the plan is to build up a down payment with CSHI over time. Now, I'm not going to rely on the income to build. I'm going to put more and more money into this fund because that's the whole point, right? It's not necessarily going to be a game-breaking retire on this style of ETF unless you have tons of money in it, because it's lower risk, lower reward. But the reward is still very, very solid at 4.82%. So it has a couple pros. It's higher than the plain Treasury bill ETFs because of the options. It's going to pay monthly distributions. Pro, I guess, compared to quarterly, but still a con compared to weekly. And very low risk because the underlying is T-bills. So out of these four that we're talking about today, CSHI is my favorite, but we have one more to look at, and then we're going to throw all of them on a chart and compare the performance. I forgot to mention that CSHI has an AUM of roughly 900 million, so it is a lot larger of a fund than some of these other ones. And on to our smallest fund, we have MMKT, the Texas Capital Government Money Market ETF, which is unique. It is also different in a number of ways, but also the same in a number of ways. I mean, come on. These are just ways to save your cash, really. They're all pretty similar. Now, this is a lower AUM, 75 million. It's newer, which plays a role in that, and it is a little bit more expensive. The expense ratio is 0.2%. But I also want to mention the yield has been very solid, closer to 3.5% plus. So when you compare it to WEEK, it is a higher yielding weekly payer. But with MMKT, its focus is principal preservation, weekly dividends, so you're going to get that frequent passive income, and the expense ratio, which is, that one's kind of a con because it is a little bit more expensive. Now, it's going to be a little bit lower yield than some of the other treasury strategies because it does prioritize safety, which is solid. Again, safety is the point of this whole video. So even though I choose kind of the riskiest option out of all four of these, this selection is for those that are wanting a safe place to put their money. And basically, it does have lower liquidity because it is so new and there's not as much money in the fund. So some differences, we have 2 weekly payers, we have 2 monthly payers, we have yields ranging from 3% to almost 6%, but which one has performed the best? Do these have NAV erosion? They don't. I can tell you that right now. Let's take a look at a comparison tool and see which one performs the best and the worst of these 4 selected ETFs. So we have our quick recap. CSHI, 0.4 expense ratio, more expensive than the rest, 900 million in AUM. MMKT, weekly dividends, 0.2% expense ratio, smallest. We have WEEK, weekly dividends, this one 0.19% expense ratio, 144 million in AUM. And SGOV, this one huge. It's BlackRock. It's massive. 0.09% expense ratio, 72, almost $73 billion in AUM. Now, what we're looking at here is payments. All of these price return wise, it's not including the dividends. Pretty interesting look, right? So every time it pays a dividend, you're going to pull that from the NAV and boom, it dips. When we start factoring in things like the total return, we see a very different story. Starting off, we'll go worst to best. We have WEEK. This one has made 3.7% in roughly a year. It's not quite a year old yet, but we're getting there, early March. So that's kind of what you're going to get from it, right? It's not going to be a game-breaking, life-changing ETF. These are places to store your money. And this one has performed the worst, but it does give you weekly dividends. Then in third place, we have MMKT at 4.08% returned. A little bit of a jump recently, which is solid, but these 2 weekly payers just don't perform as well. One reasoning behind that is they're safe. They're very safe. I would say MMKT, extremely safe. Only issue is lower liquidity, and weak, again, a little bit lower liquidity because they're smaller funds, but they're just safe. And because of that safety, you're getting less returns. Then we have SGOV, which is also very, very safe, right? Very, very safe. This one has made 4.18% in returns in the last year. Most of that being, of course, those distributions, those dividend payments, and it pays monthly, and it is absolutely massive. It's safe to say if you have an investor that does have some money in a savings fund, it's in SGOV. And there's a lot of reason for that, right? It takes time to build up that style of reputation, and BlackRock has that kind of reputation. Now to my favorite performer, CSHI. Now the reasoning it's my favorite is 1, I'm a higher risk investor. And 2, I love that it's yielding a little bit more than the other options, even though it is more expensive. It pays monthly, which doesn't bother me one bit, and it's from Neos, which is probably one of my favorite issuers in the high income game. Now, of course, this one again is not a high income ETF. It is going to consistently make you money on your saved money. I want to reiterate that again. These funds are not to retire on unless you are a multimillionaire, potential billionaire, but they are to utilize as a tool for safe money keeping. Whether you're saving for a house, starting a family, a car, an airplane, a boat, it doesn't matter. The goal with these funds is different than normal income ETFs. They're safe spots to store your cash. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know your favorite, if you hold any of these, and what you think of this video. As always, if you like this style of content and you want to make more money, don't forget to like and to subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, check these that are popping out up on your screen right now. Thank you guys so much for watching.